Welcome to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. Well, folks, let's talk about the price of Bitcoin because right now Bitcoin is pretty boring. There hasn't been much of any type of movement, whether that's upwards or downwards. However, I am anticipating Bitcoin will continue to go down. That's my personal thesis. Some analysts agree with me, some don't. And I'm not saying that, this is the end of the party. From a macro standpoint, we are in a bullish uptrend and we are headed to new highs this year, as well as a blow off top high in 2025. The market cycles are playing out. When in doubt, zoom out on the charts, right, folks? But in the short term, we're going to see a pullback. I think Bitcoin needs it. We had the buy the rumor, sell the news event on the Bitcoin spot ETFs going live. So typical market cycles playing out here and narratives playing out. So the other factor that I'm looking at, which I think will drive Bitcoin's value down, is that the DXY, the dollar currency index, is forming some really strong green candles here on the daily chart. So it's moving upwards. And what we've seen historically, assets go down. And when the DXY is going down, assets pump. So we have to be patient. We have to let the market cycles play out. But that's what I'm anticipating. I could be entirely wrong. And if I'm wrong and the price goes up, that's fine. I'm happy. I'm not a bear. I'm a perma bull, if you want to call it that. I am bullish, folks. I'm here to make money, but I have to be realistic as well. And we have to look at both the bullish and bearish scenarios. But once again, macro, we are in for new highs. So we have to be patient. And we are seeing even the macro factors of global liquidity, the Fed lowering rates, and governments, increasing their spending, which will mean they'll have to start the money printing again. QE will return, quantitative easing, for those who don't know what that is. And here, if we look at the altcoins, they're not doing much. Bitcoin is a rising tide that lifts all boats. So as Bitcoin continues its move, whether that's downwards or upwards, the alts will follow. So be patient. Use these pullbacks as opportunity to dollar cost average. That's what I'm doing. Not financial advice, of course. Do your own research, but that's what I'm looking at for the Bitcoin price right now. Now, folks, Sam Lehman, who is Director of Public Policy at Riot Platforms. Riot is a Bitcoin miner. He did a great article here in Forbes. And the title of this article is Why Crypto Could Swing the 2024 Election. Here's something he highlighted as he retweeted the article. He said, while the crypto vote was a non-factor in 2020, it is primed to play an outsized role this November. I think he's absolutely right. Now, I want to make sure you guys are clear on my stance. I'm not saying crypto is going to be the number one issue. We're dealing with so many issues in this country, and there's many things that are going to drive people to vote against Biden. And I'm not saying that because I'm anti-Biden or I'm anti-Trump. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to take sides here. I'm just calling out what's the facts. So we got stuff going on with the border, we got inflation, all that stuff, right? But crypto has moved up higher on the list, and I think we can all agree with that. And here's a great example. And if you want proof, don't just take my word for it. Just look at the presidential candidates and what they did over the past year. Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, RFK Jr. They all came out and said they were pro-Bitcoin, they were anti-CBDC. They talked about how they would regulate crypto. They came out against Gary Gensler. I mean, crypto was brought up at the Republican debates, folks. Vivek Ramaswamy, who we know he dropped out. But the point is, they recognize crypto as an issue for many voters. And they, of course, they wouldn't go pander to the crypto community and people who are investing if they didn't realize there was a lot of folks there, right? A lot of people who don't like what's happening with Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren, who are operating under the Biden administration. So let me give you some quick quotes here from this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course. But a new wedge issue is emerging in American politics, one that is poised to turn out millions of voters to the polls, one that scrambles party lines and the demographic boundaries, one that could well determine the outcome of the next presidential election, crypto. In contrast to 2020, crypto holders are coalescing into a coherent voting bloc in 2024. Millions of these voters live in key swing states where the last presidential election was decided by the narrowest of margins. and millions consider crypto to be a make or break issue at the ballot box, according to research from Morning Consult. The rise of the crypto voter tracks directly with the rise of the crypto asset class. Absolutely right here, spot on. Here, Anthony Scaramucci retweeted this article and he said, at least 70 million Americans now own crypto. If President Joe Biden loses the election, he will have Senator Warren and her handpicked SEC Chairman Gary Gensler to thank. Being mindlessly anti-crypto is an unforced error of epic proportions on many levels. Now, I recently interviewed Anthony Scaramucci. If you haven't seen that interview, be sure to check it out. It's a good one. We touch on these topics with the 2024 election. So Anthony's right. And I don't know what Biden's going to do, but Elizabeth Warren is clearly, a corrupt individual who works for the banks. She has positioned herself that she's anti-bank, anti-big corporations, but no, she's not. That's just a facade, folks. I have to give it a credit to her because she does a great job marketing herself as an anti-bank, anti-crypto, but she's one of the most corrupt senators out there, folks. Here's Senator Lummis, who's been a champion for crypto and has a bill in the Senate, actually, with a Democrat, Kristen Gillibrand. She was recently interviewed by CoinDesk, or I should say interviewed this week by CoinDesk. And one of the things she highlighted is that Gary Gensler understands crypto and the way he's acting is because of politics. So he has turned the SEC very political. She said, I had a great discussion with CoinDesk on what the approval of the Bitcoin spot ETFs means for the future of crypto assets in America, what to expect on crypto legislation in Congress this year, and much more. The other factor, folks, is that Wall Street is here, right? BlackRock, all these guys are issuing ETFs. They want not only a Bitcoin ETF, they want an Ethereum ETF. And we know that has a lot of complications because of the staking, because the SEC refuses to say Ethereum is a security or not, right? Gary Gensler could not answer that question before Congress, even though his predecessors, Jay Clayton, Bill Hinman, said it's not a security. And then you have all these lawsuits happening. You have all these altcoins. So we're going to get ETFs for other assets. And, these Wall Street players are going to want them. So will they lobby, right? Because, Wall Street firms and corporate America, they donate to politicians. So will they donate for people who are running against Biden? Because Gensler is under Biden's administration. These are questions and things that I think are going to be a big factor, and we'll see how the money flows in. Sometimes it's hard to see the donations and all these things because they're done in backroom ways or under the table. But, things to think about here. Now, folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Uphold. Uphold is a great crypto platform. I've been using them since 2018. They have Bitcoin and all the top altcoins. You can go on there and trade them. You can also trade precious metals such as gold, silver, palladium, platinum. Uphold has a great platform with a full app that's easy to use. Best of all, folks, they are fully reserved. They have transparency reports that you can go review. They don't commingle or lend out your funds. They're available in over 150 countries. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. Now, folks, we got some very big altcoin news. Here's the headline. February will see $800 million of unlocks from Avalanche, Optimism, Aptos, and more. So that means more tokens being released. That means the market cap, the total supply in the open market going up. Not necessarily great, but it may not matter, as this bull run heats up and more capital comes into the market. So in the month ahead, a number of crypto projects will unlock significant quantities of tokens. Here's a breakdown of the most significant unlocks and airdrops for the month of February, according to Token Unlocks date. Aptos will unlock nearly 25 million tokens worth $222 million at current prices on February 11th, representing over 7% of the token circulating supply. Aptos is a layer 1 network similar to Su, grew out of Facebook's Libra project. Avalanche, which of course the native token is AVAX, the layer 1 network working to scale to 100,000 transactions per second, will unlock 9.5 million tokens worth $344 million at the current prices on February 21st. The tokens represent 2.6% of the circulating supply and will bring the total portion of the unlocked AVAX tokens to 60%. So these are things you want to pay attention to when you're investing in tokens. What's the max supply? What's the circulating supply? And what's the token release schedule? Because the more tokens that are in the market, sometimes it's harder for the price to increase in these different bull market run-ups, right? So you have to pay attention to that. And you'll notice that's why, Bitcoin with a very low supply of 21 million and many tokens which have a low supply do well. Now, that's not the only factor, but I'm saying you'll look at some of them that have had major run-ups and you look at this token supply, this does play a factor. Finally, on February 28th, not as the last day of the month, but as this year is a leap year, Optimism will unlock 24 million tokens worth $72 million at current prices, representing 2.5% of Ethereum L2's network's token circulating supply. So just be aware of this. Now, heads up, guys, I will be interviewing John Wu of Avalanche, which works on Avalanche this week. So I'll ask him about this unlock. I'll ask him about the scaling solution they're working on to move up to 100,000 TPS. So that will be pretty incredible. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Now, folks, crypto hiring, we got some big news. Former JPMorgan executive appointed as head of trading at crypto firm GSR. It's fascinating to see all of this talent leave TradFi to go work in crypto. It's amazing. And look, it's going to continue, right? Because TradFi is going to eventually go on the blockchain. Stocks, bonds, real estate, all these things will be trading on the blockchain, fractionalized, even with global markets. We also got news that Coinbase adds former UK finance minister to its advisory council. Former UK Chancellor George Osborne became the latest addition to Coinbase's global advisory council this week. So government and TradFi talent moving into the crypto industry. Now, folks, a quick update here around President Nayib Bukele, who's the president of El Salvador. He was actually reelected as president of El Salvador. So that's good news. He's pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto. They're doing big things there. And I do anticipate in this upcoming cycle there will be more countries that make Bitcoin a legal tender. And we could see more add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Now, folks, tomorrow I will be publishing my interview with Sandy Call of Franklin Templeton. Folks, you don't want to miss this interview. Sandy's super smart. She gets crypto. She was ahead of the curve. She was telling people about tokenization back in 2017. We talk about Franklin Templeton's Bitcoin ETF, their crypto strategy. Folks, they are staking coins. They're building a crypto wallet as well. This is a TradFi giant. They have like 1 point something trillion of assets under management. This week, I'll be interviewing Aaron Kaplan of Prometheum, Meta Lawman, John Wu of Able Labs, as mentioned, Mike Belshi of BitGo. So you don't want to miss these interviews. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel with the notification bell on. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, hit the 5-star rating. Folks, please support the podcast with free methods, such as subscribing for the free email newsletter, following us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, Facebook. So please subscribe, guys. It doesn't take $1 out of your pocket. It doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is follow and subscribe. So I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you all later.